Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Inferno cast, episode 020. I am, of course, Inferno Fox, the host and guide for the Inferno cast, as well as the host for the Inferno Fox gaming channel. And you, of course, can find us here on YouTube, as well as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and more. Got an interesting topic tonight. It is one that the kids will love, literally, like they literally love this. But before we get into that, I just want to introduce my fantastic crew. First, of course, we have the venerable Jason the 13th, whom you can find on his YouTube channel of Jason the 13th. Jason, thank you so much for joining us.
Not a problem. It's been a little hectic around here. As you see, I'm in a different position in my room.
Yeah, those statues look great.
Oh, yeah.
And we also have Simbu Darkfang. He is our resident level 6 grandpa and the best player at Fork Knife. Don't fight me on this. As well as main actor of Basement of the Dead. Simbu, thank you so much for joining us.
Who are you people again?
You're supposed to say, get off my lawn.
I'm just wondering where I'm supposed to be.
You are right where we need you. That's the important thing.
The number one Fortnite player, remember?
Yes, the number one Fortnite player.
There's a target growing right behind me.
We also have Stormrosesky of the Twitch and YouTube channels of Stormrosesky. Storm, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I look forward to talking about all this pixelated stuff.
Yeah, definitely a pleasure to have you here with us. We also have Jamie Owls 87, who is my partner and partner in crime. Knocked over the bank the other day. Jamie Owls, thank you so much for joining us as well.
Thanks for having me. I look forward to talking about this topic, even though I don't have much knowledge about it, but I'm willing to learn more. So thanks for having me.
No problem. You probably know a lot more than you realize. And if anything, it's like for me, when I was looking up a lot of the stuff for this, I learned a lot too. And I'm just like myself and as well as you, as well as our listeners, hopefully we'll all learn a lot of stuff here. And speaking of learning, no one is more learned than Astrimedes, developer and co-owner of Second Place Games. Astrimedes, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. For people with video, I'm in my creepy bunker.
Yes. It is not just a clever background. Yeah. But before we get into our primary topic, I just want to open up with a sort of a pre-discussion topic for all y'all. And the question at hand, and Jamie Owls, I'm going to bug you with this first. What were your favorite video games that you played when you were in your 20s?
Ooh, my 20s?
Your 20s.
I still feel like I'm in my 20s, but that's not true. Gosh, I don't know. I guess well, there was one game that I had. It was A Nightmare Before Christmas for the PlayStation 2 that I remember playing a lot. Trying to think what else. I would probably still have to say The Sims. I think at that time I was playing The Sims 2 and then The Sims 2 Pets that came out. I honestly didn't really play a whole lot of video games in my 20s. But yeah, that's how I really have to look at my list. Honestly, I can't fully remember. It's been that long.
No, that's okay, because it's you mentioned The Sims and you still play The Sims now, of course.
I do.
The newest version.
I'm sorry, I just remember the Simpsons Hit and Run. I played that one a lot in my 20s.
Very cool. Astrimedes, how about you? What did you end up playing a lot in your 20s?
I got really into games like Devil May Cry, I think, in my 20s, sort of like stylish action games, like kind of interesting technical stuff. In my 20s, I was playing some fighting games too. Was playing, of course, some Smash Brothers, and then the Tekken games and the Soul Calibur games. I also been playing. And then yeah, so I was probably doing more. I was definitely doing more console gaming in my 20s than I'm doing now. I had access to current systems and often other people that own them I was living with in some cases. So I was exposed to a lot of stuff. I played GTA Vice City. We played as a group. I basically never thought of it as playing as a single player game because I would sit around with other people and sort of take turns doing crazy things while someone else worried about doing story missions.
There was a
Very
story
cool.
to those games.
I know, right? I think that the crazy haphazard nature of the GTA games is probably why like GTA Online has gotten so popular and why
Oh yeah.
GTA 5 is so pervasive. Storm, how about you? What games did you end up playing a lot when you were in your 20s?
Oh, and I know you played a lot of them with me. They're Inferno Fox because I've known you forever now. Um Chef's Love Shack played a lot of. Also Quake 2. We had at one time a server running in our spare bedroom, and we had a game server set up for Quake. So we played a lot of that. And also, The Sims, because that was right when the original Sims came out, and right around, was it 98, 99? So yeah, I was 20 in 2000. So yeah, I was playing a lot of The Sims then as well. I still love The Sims, even though I think building the houses was easier on the PC than it is on PlayStation. I have not figured out, like, the controls are just a little messy for me. So there you go.
Very cool. Yeah, I remember especially like the Quake 2 thing. It was really cool to be able to play that with you guys and when you guys had the server and whatnot. And have you tried the remaster that came out this year?
Not yet. It's on radar, but no, I have
It
not.
feels exactly like how the original was, but of course, obviously, looks better, runs really smooth, whatnot. But it's funny because kind of looks and plays like how you remember it, if that makes any sense.
Yes, I will have to give that a whirl.
Simbu, how about you? What games were you playing in your 20s?
Well, since how I think I might be the youngest here out of our crew, I was playing the Assassin's Creed series, Borderlands, of course, Halo. So I was in pretty good for gaming in my 20s around that PS3, Xbox 360, original Xbox era.
Very cool. Yeah, it was funny. I remember that time particularly being really big with game like Halo and whatnot overall. It's funny.
Lugging that ginormous, 95-pound, 27-inch TV over to yours and Mobster's apartment so that we could LAN party Halo nights.
Oh my gosh, I do remember that. Jason, how about you? What did you end up playing a lot in your
Well,
20s?
I was going to mention the best Halo game ever also because Halo 3 was the biggest Xbox game out. The only reason to own the Xbox was Halo at that time. But other than Halo, of course, Smash Brothers was a big, it's always been big. But the other two games that were big ones that I remember from back then, BioShock, I was into a real heavy, and the Mario Galaxies came out during that time. But other than that, I mean, I'm sure there were lots of other games. Yeah, I'd have to go lock up a list of
Gotta
what
catch
games.
them all.
Hey, I've played Pokemon since Red and Blue, so that, I was trying
Well,
to
that
think
was a
of
game you played a lot of in
I
your
was trying to
20s,
think
though.
of other stuff than just the mainstreams.
I gotta throw in Smash Brothers. I totally
Yep.
forgot Smash Brothers because, yes, I spent a lot of time getting my butt kicked by Inferno Fox. It was fun. I still love that game, but yes, yeah.
And if any of you
Just
haven't
take away
played
his ability to
BioShocks,
block, and he'll be there in a fight.
like If you haven't played Bioshocks, play the first 2 Bioshocks. Creepy, dark, great games.
Yes, and by all means, Infinite is not worth your time.
Yep, if it is completely different than the first 2.
And it's funny too. One of the coincidences with gaming in our 20s is the fact that there's a really good cross section for all of us, even though there's a little bit of a wider range, where a lot of us had a part or a chunk of our 20s in the aughts, what is it, the 2000s, the 20 roughly 20 years ago. So it's funny how that's kind of a similarity with us, and that spans the PS2, GameCube, Xbox, as well as the PS3, Xbox 360, and the Wii era. So it's there are a lot of really good classic games, and obviously I mentioned this because I've got a video coming out on Inferno Fox Gaming YouTube, sort of discussing my own experiences with gaming and games in my 20s, and a lot of it, some of it features everyone that's listed here. So for the fans of the series of the podcast, feel free to check out the video to see funny and embarrassing pictures of us in our 20s, because I featured a little bit of that. So I if I remember right, all of y'all are up for that. So yes.
Yeah, that same era, I'll just mention too, that same era was kind of the explosion of like indie games too, that early 2000s era. That's when you first started to see some of the first like really big popular indie games come out, like World of Goo probably was right around that time, and stuff like Braid were coming out, and you
Cave
started
Story.
to see those. You started to see, yep, Cave Story as a really good one. Yeah, Cave Story is kind of often regarded as like the kind of earliest, but that was one guy making it in isolation for like 10 years or whatever. It's crazy.
So I've got the mental image of you, Astrimedes, having this game that's you're just going to blindly launch in a year or something like that, because you've been working on your creation the last 5, 10, 15 years, and we just didn't know it.
Sure, we'll say that's what I've been doing with all the time. I haven't publicly been talking about working on games.
So we're gonna switch gears. We're gonna go from us being young to a topic that it really is for the young and young at heart, and that is going to be Minecraft, Roblox, and Terraria. Why are they so popular? What are these? Well, what have you, and everything like that. So it's going to beg the question, and Jason, I'm going to put the spotlight on you. If I literally had the ability to do that with this program, I would say I would shine the spotlight on you.
The lighting in this room is spotlight enough.
That's true. We also look like it looks like a tanning bed light bulb. Or
It
something.
does feel like that right now, doesn't it?
I don't
gotta
know. It
figure
kind
out
of like
lighting.
Two-Face from Batman right now.
Yeah, no, shadow and light.
Where are they?
That was pretty good. Good job.
Where's
No.
Rachel?
No, that was too understandable. It's more.
So, Jason, what is Minecraft?
Well, I don't remember exactly when Minecraft came out, but it took a long time for me to actually get into Minecraft. I did not want to get into it because it looked like crap to me, and I still think the graphics are horrible, but it is literally Legos on a gaming system. If you want to play Legos, you play the Minecraft Creative, and you can build to your heart's desire, and it is literally playing Legos. Playing the actual survival mode gives it a lot more like, I don't know, I've not even substance, because you could play your heart's desire in survival and never complete the game. Because I've never technically beat Minecraft, because I've never found the I don't remember what you actually call them, the bases underground that has the portal to the Ender Dragon. So I have never completed Minecraft.
I mean, that didn't
But
even exist till what, 5 years or more ago.
really,
So,
I couldn't have
yeah.
told you that. It took me a long time to get into Minecraft, and I've had people telling me, "You gotta play it, gotta play it, gotta play it," and I'm like, "It just looks like crap to me," and I could not get into it. And then once you get into it, you're kind of addicted, and you drop hours into it because it is just building and building and building. Although I do like survival, it makes it a little more difficult than just doing the Legos creative stuff. So
Yeah,
Do you
and
have like a regular server you play with people
no,
on, or
now
is it
that I
mostly like
do
a
not.
solo thing? Okay.
Mainly solo. I play my own maps with like my friends and family and stuff, but I don't play much on the PC, even though I have it on my PC. So, but
yeah, and kind of piggybacking on that, I'll sort of talk about Terraria, although I think we're probably going to have a little bit more focus on Minecraft and Roblox. I dumped quite a bit of hours in Terraria for I think it was the PS3 at the time. So it's essentially a 2D version of Minecraft. That's literally what it is. And again, out of the three of them, this is the one that I played, and just like Jason, like I found like the idea of like, for me, instead of the building aspect, I kind of found the building a little bit tedious. It's really simple and easy, but like I don't like the whole like crafting stuff. What I found really good or fun about Terraria was the exploration, being able to explore the entire map and everything like that. And then like there's a really big presence of like the underworld and being able to dig down and find of course like under the earth and everything like that, and then actually going to the underworld if you dig down deep enough, and there's a whole myriad of additional stuff that you can like unlock if you set up and beat a certain boss. And there's also like the random generation of worlds that Minecraft has, and being able to play locally and online with others. So it was pretty cool. I thought
So in other words, you enjoyed finding the crab people in Terrarium.
There were no
crab people.
were no crab people, but there were giant eyeballs that bit with their pupils, which is really
Wasn't the game on a mobile device too?
yeah. I think it's on everything.
Okay.
Kind of like
they
Minecraft.
eventually put it out on mobile. I played when it first came out on PC, and it was like very literally a 2D answer to Minecraft, like explicitly. And I put a decent amount of hours into it too. I had friends that kept playing it and actually still play it now, even that are more of the builder types that I like. Inferno Fox am not so much in games like that, particularly, and this might come up again when talking about Roblox, particularly because like a game where you control a character is horrible to also do like building stuff on top of. That sort of like builder game interface works much worse when you're also having to move a character around in the world. It works much better. This is my opinion, technically, but I think it's basically the truth. It works actually much better if you're in a more kind of disembodied control situation. And I know another game that suffers from this is like a game like Fallout 4, even more recently, AAA game, they have the same issue there. You have to like move your character around. So I think that's an inherent kind of failing. But I did find the exploration in Terraria actually pretty fun. I wish the combat was a little more kind of meaty or action-y feeling. And there was a follow-on game. We don't need to talk about this forever, but I did put a decent amount of time in here. There's a follow-on game actually made by some of the Terraria devs, because Terraria is actually now run by a different company group of creators than created the game. The game was made by, I think, Relogic initially, and they may have the same name or a different name, but essentially a different company controls Terraria and has actually done all the porting you've seen to all the different systems. The original developer was actually, I think, just a guy or a few people, and the game sort of just was so popular that it grew into this thing, which is actually the same exact story for Minecraft too. Minecraft was one guy, literally Notch, that made this game Minecraft, released it initially just on PC, and again, it was a acquired, in this case by Microsoft, and Microsoft really made sure to push it out everywhere and prioritize things like adding end game content and all that sort of thing. So it's interesting to see the evolution of these builder games, is sometimes they hit a certain popularity threshold, and then they're kind of acquired and really pushed into much more wider player base by a bigger company.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a win the lotto scenario for the original creator or creators of both of these particular games and series and everything like that, because that original creator of Minecraft literally won the lotto by setting up Mojang and getting bought out by Minecraft, and then next thing you know, Minecraft Steve is a character in Smash Brothers, and you're trying to build a structure around you while you're trying to fight against Mario, Sonic, Cloud, and Sora. So there you go.
I mean, we want to talk about video game lotteries. I mean, look at Among Us. Same thing.
Yeah.
By what, 3 people, I think?
And that was more, and it's funny, that's kind of like the whole Animal Crossing thing, because technically that released in 2018, and they were planning on working on Among Us 2 to release in 2021, and then the pandemic happened, and Among Us all of a sudden blows up 2 years after its release, and they scrapped the sequel to Among Us, and then just built a lot of external stuff to the original game. That's a very good call out, Simbu. Very good call out. And speaking of Simbu, what is Roblox? Go ahead and educate us.
So, for anybody who hasn't played Roblox, it's very similar to the Fortnite creative side of the game. It's basically just a social game, similar to Sims, in the fact that it's just like social and walking around and blah blah blah, hanging out with a bunch of random people. Contains tons of, millions of mini games where anybody, from a 2-year-old to your 350-year-old grandma from Czechoslovakia with her babushka on could create something.
Now, was Czechoslovakia a country 350 years ago?
I do believe it would have been,
because I think it was actually part of the Ottoman Empire. That may have been.
Is the Ottoman
very
Empire
possible.
still around 350 years ago? That's add a couple more years to that there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they were around like what, World War I was when they were still around, and then they folded in the 1920s. I remember.
Were they?
I didn't know we had to take history.
That might
for
be
this
true,
podcast.
but yeah, I was gonna say we're probably all wrong about history.
Now I need to Google. Carry on. Carry on. I will let you know that answer shortly. Carry on.
History lesson for the podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're getting intelligent in this internet. Not
Who
really.
needs
Or-
that?
Beyond the console. There we go.
Beyond the console.
But yeah, so it's just a myriad of random user created games, and some stuff probably created by Roblox themselves. It ranges from the good to the bad to the holy crap, this is terrible. But again, when you get any sort of thing where you can have user created content, that's what you're going to get. It's going to be a roulette wheel of, spin it, pick one, and if it's good, cool. If it's not, well, you don't play it again. The main biggest thing for it, and it's primarily more of a kid's game, and it's a way for kids to be social in an online environment that realistically is, I wouldn't say quite completely 100% safe. Nothing online is. But, overall, you're generally people who are playing Roblox are kids. So, and the Roblox was big during the pandemic because of that online social aspect, because it's primarily played by children. Kids can socialize and, being stuck in the house with just maybe mom and dad in my situation where I only have one kid. So she's stuck in the house with 2 adults. Well, she can go online and she can play with a bunch of kids. and get that kind of interaction. But to the technical aspect, much like Minecraft, it is a blocky, pixelated game that I will say I do not find enjoyable, and my daughter hates me for it. So
my nephew has the same reactions when I tell him that it looks too childish and I can't get into it, and he's like, why I'm like, I just can't. I'm like,
Yep.
it's Lego guys running around everywhere and you're not doing anything. Like,
I don't know. I think they look more like the Mega Bloks guys because
oh,
Yes.
okay, Mega Blocks.
they're a bit blockier.
That's I was just gonna say they look like the generic, Lego guys.
Yep, yep.
The Mega
Yeah.
Block guys. And friends of ours, their son played Roblox, and we got him a gift card for his birthday. And I watched him play some Titanic game that was made within Roblox. And you had to somehow find the piece to help survive the Titanic or something. It just fascinating the amount of stuff that is in there, but it does look all childish, like
It's
big blocks, and it's like, good on you. I'm glad they have a community that seems to be, relatively for the kids, and not a whole lot of adult takeover. Because in Fortnite there's a good mix. I don't know about Roblox how much interaction there
I
is.
know my
but
nephew watches a few YouTubers and they're kind of in the older teens, but I wouldn't say too many old like YouTubers are doing
gonna say,
Roblox.
I don't think you're gonna find somebody our ages,
No.
streaming Roblox, other
Right.
than maybe, hey, I'm playing with my kid. It's father son or father daughter gaming
Right.
stream, and so they play Roblox together.
I haven't searched for Roblox YouTube videos, so I can't say for certain. There might be a few of them out there that are our age doing it.
Yeah, it's funny where like maybe it's not a good idea to search for that, because then like
Yeah,
you're
no.
gonna get the FBI going after you, because most
Yeah.
of the audience is gonna be kids. So yeah.
How to
so-
be a kid in Roblox.
Simbu, have you seen the Modern Warfare clone in Roblox?
I have not personally, but from everything I have seen, because it's big. It is big right now because Modern Warfare 3 has been tanked.
Mhm.
From everything I have seen, it's sad that whoever created the one in Roblox did it Modern Warfare better than
Yes.
Activision.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it is horrendous. For the audience, Simbu and I have been watching the release of Modern Warfare 3 that just came out, the standard annual military shooter that encompasses 1/3 of the entirety of video game sales and players. And unfortunately, this latest release, at least the single player campaign, is rough, and I'm being very kind by saying that. Though the good majority of the individuals that play these don't really focus on the single player campaign. They pretty much just wait until the multiplayer opens up in Warzone and everything like that. That's the real crux of the military shooters. But my goodness, that single player campaign, rough. When Roblox looks better or looks just as good,
Ooh.
rough.
Yeah,
Wow.
and of course, a lot of times with Metacritic scores, you take user reviews with a grain of salt sometimes. But I mean, an overwhelming dislike for the game for Modern Warfare 3 that's already standing on there from day one. It already had way more dislikes than anything positive.
Wow.
That goes to
Ooh.
say something, and plus the critic reviews themselves.
Yeah, the actual Metacritic is only like 10 points higher than Golem, and the 20 points higher than the King Kong game. And those two games I mentioned are the two worst video games released in 2023. And so Modern Warfare 3, at least being judged by its single player campaign, is looking like it might take the number 3 slot. So that's not great, but it doesn't matter because people are going to continue to buy it because it's a military shooter, and it is what it is. It's the multiplayer, and that's what sells. Getting us back into gear of our primary topic, though. Let me just give the audience an idea as to how crazy popular these games are. Minecraft itself has over 140 million active users on a monthly basis and has sold over 600 million copies. 600 million copies since it's been released at the end of 2011. Roblox has over 220 million active users on a monthly basis. So even again, Minecraft selling over 600 million copies, Roblox has 80 million more active users monthly than Minecraft. And it should mention that Minecraft is a game that is sold individually, whereas of course Roblox is a free to play model. And of course you buy the in-game currency, and that of course is how they make their money. Comparatively, the game Terraria that Astrimedes and I were talking about is the least popular, no surprise. Only has 600,000 users on a monthly basis, with only 44 million copies sold. Only. So, it's just up there with the amount of copies that like Animal Crossing New Horizons has sold. Just 44 million. Talking about the age ranges, surprisingly, Minecraft, the average age of the Minecraft player is 24 years old. Unsurprisingly, Roblox skews obviously much younger. 2/3 of the entire user base. So again, 220 million active users, 2/3 of them are 16 and younger. So that of course is no surprise, because of course that game, as we were talking about, cater to the younger crowd. And Jason, you of course had mentioned, you were talking about how your nephew plays Roblox, and then I believe you'd mentioned about playing Minecraft with them.
Yep.
What about both of these do you see him enjoying the most? Like, what is it about both Minecraft and Roblox that your nephew enjoys the most?
For Minecraft, the building. He plays 90% of the time on creative, and he likes to just build a ton of things. His current favorite thing to build right now are nuclear power plants, and he has been building them in Minecraft for a little while now. As to Roblox, it's how he plays with most of his friends from school. Not all of them have the Nintendo Switch or the PlayStation, stuff like that. My nephew has the Switch and has the PC, and he has, I don't even know what. I think he's got the Xbox 360 still at their house, and PS2, I think, at their house. So they can't play on the Switch, which I know he plays Minecraft with a couple of them, but if he can't play on the Switch, it's all Roblox on the PC is how he plays with his friends. So I get it. I've tried getting him into other games. He does like games here and there, but he doesn't stick to it. Roblox is his comfort food game because he goes back to that more than any of the other games.
It's his Pokemon.
Yes, it is.
Interesting side note there, Jason. Now you can play Roblox on your PlayStation.
Nice.
Roblox
I know.
has now been ported to, I believe, all major consoles.
We tried it on the Xbox, and you only get so many of the games. There's not nearly as much selection, and it ran crappier than the PC version.
Oh, dang.
But that was a while back. I don't know how it is now.
Was that on the Xbox One that you got?
Yeah, on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would also explain it. Try it
Uh-huh.
on your
Like I
PS5
said.
and see what happens. See if
Like
it runs
I said,
better.
it was a while back when we tried Roblox on the Xbox.
Well, just look at those Roblox games. They're so visually stunning
Oh,
that
I know.
it's not surprising that it would bog down an Xbox One.
What's cool about just the Minecraft and a bit with the Roblox and especially Terraria is kind of that world making or world building aspect, up to and including building your own home and building a larger community to share with others. Kind of framing it that way, have either of these games caught your attention, Storm, especially with your love of Animal Crossing?
Honestly, no. It is the look of them. Minecraft, I've watched people play. My better half has played it a little bit and got sucked into it for a bit. And I just, yeah, you're building things, but it all looks like two-dimensional block things, and it just visually does not do anything for me, and it visually bores me. And that is my own personal thing. I'm not, people can love it as much as they want. Yeah.
I would describe it more as it makes my eyes bleed.
Yeah.
I play Minecraft and I still hate the graphics on it.
I just, okay. Yeah, I don't get
makes
it.
my eyes go cross.
Yeah.
Storm, the way that you describe it kind of describes the feeling that I get whenever I walk into a Home Depot, where I just walk in and it has that certain scent and feel, and I'm just like, oh, bored.
Yes. Like,
Although,
get me in and get me out. What do I need? And I'm in and out real quick. So
Storm, did you play with Legos when you grew up?
I did.
That would be where you would like the Minecraft. Other than just like me, I get the whole building and Lego building aspect of it. Other than that, again, the graphics do absolutely nothing for me in it. And Roblox is even worse graphic wise.
Oh God, it is. It looks like it does just look like a child's game. So
oh yeah,
yeah, there's no around it. So Minecraft, I could see it having, I think
a little bit of a draw, like I said.
Yes, I've seen videos, and oh my God, Mr. Beast is one. He and his friends have played a bunch of challenges where they built stuff, and the stuff they built in game is amazing. But to each their own, because that all looks like a whole bunch of time that those type of time suckers. If it's not visually pretty to me, I don't want to put time into it. Animal Crossing can look visually pretty to me, and that feeds something in my brain. So that's where Minecraft will lose me. Animal Crossing has me because I can make things pretty and look at it and feel
nice. I will agree. Animal Crossing looks much better.
Yes.
So
and cuter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say, Storm, it's not your closet crush on Tom Nook.
Oh yeah. No. It's all about KK Slider. If I'm gonna like anything, it's gonna be the musician. Come on. But it's funny, my husband has also played Animal Crossing, and he has compared the two and said, this is just like Minecraft. You're just building, da 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 da. Once you start doing the terraforming, I was like, yeah, I get it, but it looks better. It's so
this one doesn't look like pixelated vomit.
Exactly. It looks like I grew up on the 2D Marios, the original Mario games, and Mario looks so much better now. I don't I don't miss those days of video games.
Going back and playing, I'd rather play the old 2D Mario games than Mario 64.
There's a lot of that, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
2D Mario aged well because of how it's presented, whereas Minecraft looks like a Mario 64, but worse because of how it's just so ugly and polygonal and everything like that. It's like, okay, Mario 64 has dozens of polygons. Let's reduce that by dozens. That's Minecraft.
Yeah.
Minecraft visuals won't age badly because they'll look just as terrible in the future as they do now.
That is true. That is true.
But
remember, we're gonna get eventually. There's in probably 10 years we'll get Minecraft 3D.
Oh my God.
I don't know about that.
Minecraft VR. They probably have that already.
They do, actually.
Yeah, figured.
I was gonna say.
It's funny, Jason, you mentioned the Lego thing because that's probably why I Minecraft doesn't appeal to me, because two older brothers that destroy any sort of creations you can make with Legos, or Legos that get so snug into spot.
You can't get them apart.
You can't take them apart. You knock your microphone with your arm. Yeah, it's
just like Minecraft.
Yeah, just like Minecraft.
I thought it just brought up bad memories of all the Legos you stepped on as a kid there in
those would be needles. I've stepped on a needle before.
Yes.
I stepped on that thumbtack.
Yes. Oh.
Oh, that's horrible. No one knows about your toes. That's all I'll say.
Speaking of which, Jamie Owls, um, so you had mentioned how you're a big fan of The Sims. Does the customizability that's available in these games, does that interest you at all? And how there's customizability in The Sims, or you're just kind of in the same boat as Storm?
I would have to agree with Storm. I feel like I had a lot more fun building stuff in Animal Crossing. Considering I suck at building houses in the Sims game, but I don't see myself playing Terraria I mean, I've tried Terraria when it first came out when I played with you, but I have no interest in playing those games.
No, I don't blame you. And your houses are always done really well. The thing that bugs me with you having to build stuff in Sims is Jimmy Ellis plays on the PS5, and for some stupid reason, EA has yet to port The Sims from the PS4 to the PS5, because if it was on the 5, it would better use and facilitate like the SSD of the PS5 and the better processing and everything like that. So whenever I watch Jamie Ellis play, she's usually got her phone ready to be able to go through reels on Instagram while it loads stuff, just because it takes that long to load. It's
Dang.
horrendous. But Astrimedes, I want to ask you something about Roblox. So from what I've seen, there's a lot of creator content, kind of what Simbu was mentioning, the good, the bad, and the ugly, with the games that can be made on Roblox. So where are your games? When are you going to join the Roblox camp and start making some games in there? You could actually make some really good money if you can figure a way to wheedle it out of kids' parents' wallets.
Sounds as easy as taking candy from a baby.
Literally.
But
So then why aren't
yeah,
you doing it?
I did, because unfortunately my motivation isn't money for making games, though it would be nice, and it's convenient to say your motivation isn't something that's extremely unlikely anyway. But I did kind of look briefly into sort of how the game making actually works in Roblox. I skimmed the stuff available, and very quickly, just jumping into a few games, I got the sense that it seems like you always kind of, like we kind of mentioned earlier, it seems like they always kind of lock you into like you're this character. And maybe I didn't play enough to see something that isn't that, but from what I could tell, it almost seemed like fundamental to the way things work. And maybe if anyone here's seen different in Roblox, I'd be curious to hear. But that kind of seemed to be the case from what I could see. So the builder, so there's this separate program you can run that is this builder thing, and it actually kind of looked like a baby Unity or something like that. It has and I don't actually mean baby Unity in a way that it even really looks like it's for babies. It doesn't really. If anything, I'd say it would be nice if it looked a lot nicer and maybe was particularly designed to be easy to get around in, because it reminded me of kind of like a trying to be cleaned up like Windows 98 program or something with its interface a little bit. But aside from all that, so I noticed you can do the thing I was curious about, and I didn't go far into this. I don't really have a good idea overall of how they work, but I saw it's essentially again, sort of like Unity. There seems to be like these basic objects that you can attach stuff to, including you can do scripting. This is the main thing I was curious about. Can you actually write code, or is it purely like like something they'll often call like visual scripting, where you use stuff you drag around on the screen or something that isn't actually coding to accomplish coding like tasks? And so I did see that you can do scripting, and it actually uses a language called Lua, which is a language used in a couple other, at least one I can think of, other popular, quote unquote, real game development engine called Love 2D. That's a more open-ended, but still in many ways kind of stripped down engine. But anyway, I think it's interesting because I think it's like a good on-ramp to like coding and game development for a kid who's interested enough. Like you get very immediate feedback. One of the appealing things about Roblox, and I think probably contributes to its popularity, is it has a really there's a very low barrier of entry. It's free to play. The download isn't that large. You click a game, and I was kind of surprised to see that when you click a game, it pretty much runs immediately. It didn't seem like there was really much of a like big downloading anything or anything along those lines. And I'm sure some bigger, more complicated games, there's probably more of that. And actually, I did notice, I think there was a theme park tycoon game I jumped in briefly, and I think there were sort of loading times on there, but it seemed like it's sort of unusual for there to be kind of like a big load time or anything. So it's the game builder thing gives you templates. It gives you maybe 5 or 6 different templates of the kinds of games you can make. So like you can make like essentially a shooter game, combat game, I think they called it, and it drops you into a little template where there's like a sword and a gun and a health pack. And so immediately with your little template, you can run around, pick up the gun, shoot things very awkwardly like a Lego man, swing the sword. And it's nice that it gives all that stuff to you out of the box. So like I get that I can see how it would be sort of popular. And I think particularly if it's primarily kids doing it, I think that's pretty neat. And that might mean that we'll see an even bigger wave of, indie developers and stuff in this next generation here as they get older.
So you mentioned about the low loading time. We can probably attribute that to the fact that the assets and everything are so like simple and everything. But I feel like it's more, maybe it's more of an indictment of they know their audience. They know the audience is kids. Their attention spans are low. We need to make sure we keep keep their attention as much as possible. Let's get them into the game as quick as we can. And that's probably, if I could guess, at a marketing standpoint, that maybe that explains the quick load times and
and for almost anything to work that day, given kind of the modern state of particularly things that are essentially like web apps and stuff like that, which this game basically sort of is in a way, but these games, whatever you want to call it, it had to have been a very intentional design decision to make things that way. And of course too, like if a lot of what I'm kind of intuiting from checking the games out is true, with how sort of locked in you are to a lot of things about how these games work regardless, that means of course you can optimize for that and make loading times quick, because games are actually just using all the sort of same engine code with just some like different branches along the way. And then anything with a ton of assets and stuff is probably where you're going to see load times and stuff like that. If someone went to the trouble, which many don't, I suspect, from looking at how the same everything looks, everyone's probably using the built-in stuff, which again, they give you a really nice variety stuff to drop in. And there's like a hooked right in sort of creators content little marketplace too, which I assume you can probably make paid creator content also for Roblox. So that's probably what I would do if I really wanted to just make some money and didn't care at all about enjoying what I was doing or making something that did good for the world. I could just pump out Roblox creator content and sell it to kids.
It's cool though where they are offering those options. It's similar to how like Super Mario Maker 1 and 2, where it not only, hey, I can make a Mario level, but it more so teaches people about the idea of, okay, you have fun with it, but maybe you're really interested, and so you start to really look into like stuff like the fairness of levels, or even something like Dreams, the PS4 thing where you actually make your own games, or even to a lesser extent the Switch's Game Builder Garage, where like you can really build your own games from scratch. People making like Doom clones and Sonic the Hedgehog games using something like that. And then maybe you graduate to something like RPG Maker, and if you like art, so you collaborate with somebody and you just kind of builds from there. These are the individuals that will ultimately make the video games that maybe we'll be playing when we're in our 60s. So
we're old and they're still not.
Yes.
I want to say one thing. I want to throw this out there. MySpace I wonder how much MySpace influenced some of the this current generation's coders,
like web developers and stuff. I think because that's probably on MySpace, not totally off base.
Because you could go in, you could edit your profile, change source code, add source codes to change your background, add a add a music player with a certain skin. make somebody every time they hit the letter Q, like your computer would make a fart sound or something, like as long as they were on your profile. Because I remember spending a lot of time on my MySpace page, just looking up stuff online. Oh, this source code for this music player, I like this. Let me, find out how to drop and drag it and copy and paste. And
I remember
That's
those
how it
days.
starts.
Yeah, and it's funny because all that time that you're learning that stuff in your teens and early 20s, and I've seen a lot of reels and stuff where there's young women in their 30s and where they're helping and teaching Gen Zers on a lot of the techie stuff because they don't know how to do it, but us millennials do, and it's because a lot of that Simbu had stated so well and succinctly that it is why. But we're not going to have that knowledge if we don't package it in a way to where it's entertaining for people to want to do. And unfortunately, Roblox seems like it's like that.
Hey, I'm old enough that I don't consider myself a millennial.
One of the things though with really like Roblox, and even Simbu was mentioning Fork Knife, or no, well, yeah, Simbu was mentioning Fork Knife and Roblox with the social aspect. Really helped to bring kids together, with the event that shall not be named that rhymes with Schmandemic. So one of the funny things is, even with that event being over, Fork Knife, Roblox, Minecraft, all that, still seeing like so many kids and just users and adults and everything like that. Question I'll pose to my crew here is, it's going to be the last one. Why do we think that is? Why are these games still seeing such an active base even with the schmandemic being over? Is it the fact that games are just that fun, the social aspect? Is it just inherently easier to connect that way versus trying to meet in person? Storm, if you don't mind me calling on you first on this, why would you? What are your thoughts on that particular question I posed?
I think that first, some of these games have become comfort food for people, and they're mindless. So you can get on and, say you have some friends and that you can join for a game or two a night. And these are friends that you normally won't see at all, maybe for a month or two, or you live across the country now and you won't see them. So you just have a chance to like catch up on a game real quick. So I think part of that is why they're still popular, and a lot of their ease of use. Fortnite for me is an easy, mindless thing. I can jump on and play a match and not really think about it, versus played a video game that needs my attention. Like, I love Sea of Stars, but after working a day with students, I wanted to play something mindless, and Fortnite is just mindless. I don't really have to give much thought behind it because, those are more muscle memories. So I think that's why they're still popular. There's a introversion aspect. Like, people like to be social, but at the same time, you like your own space. You necessarily don't not you necessarily don't want to be surrounded by people, but you don't want to be alone at the same time. So I think that has something to do with the psychological aspect of that, why they're so popular as well. And they're just fun games. It may not look visually appealing to me, but Minecraft is what it is. Animal Crossing, I still love it, and it was popular then, and I've noticed it's not as popular now, as far as other streamers have quit streaming a lot of their islands and closed down a lot of treasure islands, but it's still quite popular. So that's another big social game. So I'm sorry that took forever, but there you go.
No, that was a really great explanation. I feel like that really hits a lot of the notes, especially for me. I share your aversion to extroversion, I guess you could say. So a lot of times being able to avoid peopling and being able to just jump on a nice comfort food game too, especially after a busy day of peopling, is very nice. Very, very nice to be able to do.
Exactly. it's a nice way to wind down. So I think that's what a lot of these games have become too for people. It's just, a little bit on that, and you don't have to think, and it's a nice escapism from our world that is seemingly crushing around us. But there we go. Have happy Wednesday. Carry on.
Jason, would you agree, and would you add anything to that, you think?
No, I pretty much agree with everything. Going off of what I see my nephew do, I don't hear of him having too many like play dates, and I'm using the quotes and the air quotes on that, to where I don't hear about him getting together with the kids from school other than when he's on like Roblox playing and he gets on with his friends from school. So between that and then like Storm said, they became the comfort food. You got used to playing it at long hours. Now you don't want to go play something new that you don't know. You just jump into the old games that you know, and your friends are already there playing with you. So you don't have to get everyone, hey, this new game just came out. Let's all go switch over to that. So, and half the people may not like that. And it doesn't catch on. So you're going right back to that comfort food.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a really great point. It's kind of something Astrimedes and I were kind of talking about maybe trying to find a game that all six of us would like to try, would like to get into and play. And just with the crazy amount of preferences, personal preferences and variabilities and tastes that each of the six of us have, it would be really tough to pin us all down to find something that we would all like to play and enjoy together, or have a if it was single player, where we have our own single player experience to where we would get into that. So it's nice
We
when
should all play Roblox.
Yes, there you go. That's the answer.
Although there is one Roblox game that I watched my nephew play that I think is hilarious to watch. Everyone jumps into the lobby, and there's some kind of natural disaster that's happening, whether it's meteors falling, floods, tornadoes, and stuff, and you have to survive it. I'm like, that's actually kind of comical to watch one.
I didn't play it, but I read the description of that one.
Oh, yeah,
It's
that one's
basically
actually
basically
hilarious.
like PUBG. So like what do they call those games? I'm forgetting now the
Battle
term
Royale?
for those. Yeah, so it's like a battle royale game that's more player versus environment and then player
Yes,
versus
yep.
player. So I thought that was actually kind of an interesting concept on its own.
Always gotta love some PvE games.
But it is funny watching that one out of all the ones he does play. The other ones are kind of like, okay, you got a racing game. Okay, you got a shooter. Okay, you got this one,
And it was probably just built from the template with minor modifications.
Yep,
Dumped out there.
probably.
It's funny how a lot of these games that don't look all that great to get so much of a big player base and everything like that. Like Fall Guys is a great example of that. That not only does that look bad, it plays like garbage, and it has like hundreds of thousands of people that play it all the time. Like,
oh, but playing like garbage is the point of the game.
yeah, like
Feels
it
like garbage
literally
on
is.
purpose.
It's
It
horrible.
goes to Storm's comment of it's a mindless game.
Oh, it is.
Yep.
Among Us is mindless and frustrating because nobody listens to anyone. Whatever you have to say, they all just vote whoever they want to vote on every round.
Yeah, did I say Among Us? I meant Fall Guys.
You
you
did
said
say Fall Guys.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I had Among Us in
The
the
Fall
head
Guys.
for some
Just
reason.
a random Among Us thought.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you
Fall
say I'm the
Guys is
grandpa,
even more
old man over
mindless than
here.
that. Yeah.
Fall Guys just frustrates me more based because of the movements and the
Yes.
stupid. Oh, it's so
I think they're
slow.
purposely made clunky.
Yep.
Yeah, it's horrible. And
It's like if you ever watch that episode of The Office where you see Jim and Andy and I think it's Stanley in
White
big sumo
Stanley.
suits.
Yes.
That's Fall Guys, and it's as
Mhm.
awful as it looks to have them bounce around and everything like that. Ugh.
I will
Ah.
say it is visually more appealing than Minecraft or Roblox, though.
It's true.
yes, This
At
is
least
true.
it looks very polished.
Yes.
Yep. It has
I
a
don't.
consistent visual aesthetic. It's
Yes.
higher quality than those other things in terms
Oh,
of
yeah.
visual presentation, even if it is still ugly and basic, which it is.
Yes. Exactly.
I
What do you say?
really hate that shiny, overly shiny, polished look that Fall
Yeah.
Guys has. I definitely don't like how Minecraft looks, but like it's worse looking than that. Fall Guys.
Okay, so Inferno Fox just declared his hatred for J.J. Abrams' directions and movies.
What? Why?
Because things are shiny.
Ah, Astrimedes picked it up.
Why are things shiny in J.J. Abrams?
It's
Astrimedes.
his art. It's his art style. It's his art direct. It's his art type preference. Like you watch the newer Star Treks, everything is reflective and
Big
shiny, brand new.
glass and metal stuff. You're saying, yeah, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Star Wars 7 and 9, and then I'm thinking of Star Trek and Star Trek: The Darkness.
Yeah, there's
I-
always a reflector, lens flares or reflective flares and stuff to symbolize shiny and new.
Ooh, I will have to look into that. I've only seen all of those 4 movies I mentioned once each.
Leave your comments about your thoughts about J.J. Abrams' visual direction.
In the comments below.
Oh, good God.
You had my attention. Now you have my
Next-
curiosity.
Next week we'll be reading our hate mail from J.J. Abrams fans.
Jesus.
Oh, on that note, I think we'll go ahead and call it. As I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, the discussion of the gaming in our 20s and just in the aughts was kind of reflective of a video I got coming out this Saturday on Inferno Fox Gaming on YouTube. So make sure you check that out. I just want to give my cast and crew here a huge thanks again for joining. We, of course, have Jason the 13th, YouTube channel of Jason the 13th. Jason, you got any more content coming for us anytime soon?
I need to upload the DLC, the first video, even though it doesn't have my audio track. It does have the video game audio, just you don't hear me talking, so you just get to watch gameplay if you want that one. And then I do want to get back into recording and figure out my laptop issues and all that fun stuff. So need to do that.
Definitely looking forward to being able to catch that. Which, speaking of which, this is the first podcast that I'm recording on my new laptop because, yeah, the one that I've been using almost literally blew up. So definitely glad to be able to get a new one, and hopefully my viewers and listeners on YouTube and the fellow podcast, hopefully you're going to be able to see it. So we'll find out shortly. But also I want to take the time again to thank Simbu Darkfang. He is our level 5 grandpa and main actor of Basement of the Dead. Again, you can find Basement of the Dead in Aurora, Illinois, part of the suburbs of Chicago. So Simbu, thank you again for joining us.
Hey, that's so great. I went up from 5 to 6, and now I'm back 6 to 5. So I sound like a NFL season sometimes.
The actual season reset, so be lucky you retained your level 5. Well, as you know, when a new season begins, you reset levels. So normally you go down to level 1, but because you're the best Fortnite player, you keep your level 5.
Oh.
You're welcome.
All right, I got it. I got my nail file. Everybody come for me. I got you.
Also,
it was great to be here.
Well, I want to thank Stormrosesky for joining us. You can catch her content on Twitch as well as Stormrosesky's YouTube channel. Storm, you got any content coming on your YouTube channel soon?
I hope so. No. Yes, I know that it's but said that I've been working on that one. It's been life has happened and outside work, been doing a lot of school work, and working in schools is very tiring for the introvert being extroverted all week. So I'm pretty zapped at the end of the week because that's a lot of peopling, and I have
I
never
know how
yelled
that
at.
feels.
Yeah, and I've never yelled at so many strangers in my life as I have done the last 2 months of my life. And by the way, The Ottoman Empire did end 1922. You were right with World War One. I did give it a Google. There you go.
Yeah, that's crazy. That was one that was like what 300-400 years or something like that.
Yeah, over a couple of decades, or of course decades, and
The transition
whatever.
from ancient to modern warfare basically
Yes.
coincides with.
And it
Pretty much.
still looks better than Modern Warfare 3. God. Oh, Jamie Ellis, of course, I want to say a thank you as well for joining us, as well as for handling stuff around the house for our
Yeah.
viewers and listeners. We had a utility guy coming in and literally coming into our condo to test our fire alarm. So I don't know if you picked up any background noise with anything like that. Thank you, Jamie Ellis, again for all your help, and we appreciate you joining us as well on this.
Well, I try. And Fira was helpful to our dog. She was keeping us alert that someone was in our house. So,
I
but
was
yeah.
gonna say,
The
Jamie Al's
namesake.
got that mute button really good because I didn't hear the
Yeah.
fire alarm go off
Nope,
once.
didn't hear any of it.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Jamie Owls, and thank you, Fira, our namesake, for the Inferno Fox Gaming channel for keeping us safe. And last but not least, thank you, Astrimedes, for joining us, developer and co-owner of Second Place Games.
Thanks for having me. It was a good time. I think it was an interesting discussion. I just one other thing I'll throw out there about these games, procedural generation, I think is part of why Minecraft and Terraria had a lot of kind of initial longevity and draw. But it's great being here.
Yeah, and when can we expect your not Horde Lord, your Roblox game to drop? When is that coming?
We'll see. I'll keep everyone in suspense because I might just sell pre-made parts to little kids to make their games with.
Spoken like a true politician.
Wait, so it's not going to be Horde Lord via Roblox?
We'll see. I'll have to do some more experimentation if I want a Horde Lord to make you a Lego man who can only run around in a 3D plane. I'll consider it.
Oh,
Hey, you never know. It could catch big.
it
Probably.
could, but
Can't do any worse. So,
but I will tell you, like, if you want to speak like a politician, you do have to slip the word "look" in. Like you always have to say "look." You need to You always want to make sure you include the word "look." But alrighty, and of course, one final thank you to our fantastic audience. Thank you so much for joining us. And the next podcast will be up on Tuesday evening. So make sure you join us again, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and of course here on YouTube. Thank you again, and have a good one.